So, I had an idea. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, right? Okay. Well, what if every team in the league had Patrick Mahomes? What happens then? Because if no one could beat Patrick Mahomes, which I disagree with because Joe Burrow exists in the NFL, what happens if every team has Patrick Mahomes? Even the Kansas City Chiefs, by the way. What happens then? 21-year-old Patrick Mahomes. Who's going to win the Super Bowl now? Because now, everyone has to deal with the guy. Alright, let's get right into this, guys. And yes, every single team actually does have him. And I don't know how I feel about this, just based on the fact that I am going to change his age on the Kansas City Chiefs here. Just based on the fact that, like, what's going to happen? Okay, so here's what I think, right? Every single Patrick Mahomes here eventually will leave their team, right? One of these Patrick Mahomes will leave their team and go somewhere else. When they do that, I feel like it's low-key the move to just try to stack up your Patrick Mahomes so that other teams can't get them, if that makes sense. I feel like that's like the go-to move here. So, like, for example, if Patrick Mahomes hit free agency, pick him up, even though you already have a Patrick Mahomes, so that he can't go somewhere else. And then eventually, you're going to have teams with, like, 3 Patrick Mahomes, and it's going to ruin everyone else's team. That's what I feel like the move's going to be in the end here. We'll see how smart the CPU is, though. Because the CPU, maybe they'll be smart enough to understand that, but maybe not. So, every single Patrick Mahomes, by the way, if you probably guessed already, has the same exact stats, the same exact everything, player traits, all that kind of stuff. They're literally the same person. I mean, it's just a cloned version of him 32 times. So, there's not one Patrick Mahomes that's better than the other Patrick Mahomes. And first game, 9 for 19. 255 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. The Raiders lose. Wow, Patrick had a fantastic game and an awful game at the same time. I have a weird feeling that he's going to win Player of the Week every single week. Just this weird, sneaking suspicion, like, there's no way he doesn't win Player of the Week. There's no way he doesn't win MVP. Are they going to... I guess that kind of shows in that game. They're not all going to have the same stats. So, yeah, Patrick Mahomes won Player of the Week on both teams. So they're all going to have different stat lines. Oh, this is going to be interesting. All right, let's get into the second game here. We got the Washington Commanders, who are already 1-0. Who's going to be the worst team in football, though? Because even when you have, let's say you have like a bad squad. Like the Cardinals don't have the greatest squad. But the question is, the Dolphins are 0-2, but they got Patrick Mahomes. I was going to say, what if a team just absolutely royally sucks, even with the best quarterback in the NFL? Okay, well, the Raiders are 0-4 with Patrick Mahomes, so I don't even know what to say at that point. Like, what are you doing with your life? And look at the OG. The OG Patrick Mahomes just got beat by his cloned version. The OG Patrick Mahomes just got beat by his cloned version. That is, very, very beautiful right there. That's beautiful irony. He could not beat his own clone. And then the Packers-led Patrick Mahomes just beat us. Great. Well, we lost our second time to our OG Patrick Mahomes. Eventually, the Chiefs are going to get rid of their Patrick Mahomes and probably replace him with another Patrick Mahomes. So I guess we're going to see where he ends up, actually ends up being after a certain amount of time. Like, in the future, I meant to say. I don't know. Today, words just don't even... I can't even say words today. I don't know why. Alright, 6-5. Come on. Come on, Mahomes. There's no way Mahomes can't take this team to a playoff. Come on. Mahomes not in the playoffs would just be weird. Like, that just doesn't seem right. 8-5. 9-5. Okay, we're in that fringe of a playoff spot right now. 1 win, and we'll be a playoff spot. Yes, we beat the Patriots led by Patrick Mahomes. Okay, I'll stop saying it. I'll stop using his name 1,000 times this video. It's kind of hard not to, but all right. So we went 11-6. Ironically enough, the OG Patrick Mahomes went 8-9. Is that not hilarious? And wait, the Raiders were 0-4 at one point, and they finished the year 10-7. Packers went 17-0. Packers went 17-0. Chargers went 13-4. Yeah. The worst team in the league. The Cardinals still went 3-14 with Mahomes. Rams 4-13. Dolphins are 4-13 with Mahomes. They got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Mahomes. That is wow. Okay. I will say there's a lot of good teams. All right, so flip a coin. Who wins MVP? Our Mahomes did pretty good. Not bad. Can't complain about it. Let's see. 7.5 sacks. Okay. Practice retained did pretty good. The fact that 4 teams went that bad is amazing. All right, so let's go ahead and get right into the rest of this video. So yearly awards, not surprisingly at all, Patrick Mahomes came in every single MVP slot except for, there's the OG Patrick Mahomes, who had an awful season. But sadly, though, Patrick Mahomes did go ahead and win it. So in the end, it is Patrick Mahomes' league somehow, some way. And let's see who wins the Super Bowl. My guess would be Patrick Mahomes. I'll be interested to see what free agency looks like, just with all the possible. The Broncos lost in the first round. Okay. Just to see with all the possible, Mahomes that does hit free agency. I don't think there's I don't know. I feel like every team's going to try their best to re-sign their said Patrick Mahomes. Commanders versus Raiders. And final is Commanders versus Raiders. That's an interesting Super Bowl. Raiders win it in the end. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do real fast, though, is I have this set up so the CPU does pretty much everything. Just because I'm not really running the Broncos right here. But I do want to have this unchecked. That way we can actually see who is possibly, an option in free agency, right? So let's go through here. And let's go ahead and let them do all their re-signing crap and all that kind of good stuff. And let's go over to sign free agents. So let's see who's available in free agency. Free agency, bam, bam, bam. Wow. 3 Patrick Mahomeses are available. 1 team is interested in these 2. And in this one, nobody's interested in. That's kind of interesting. Okay, so I want to do this real fast. Let me go ahead and go to quarterbacks, right? I want to offer, but I'm not going to... I don't want the guy, right? I just want team-friendly. 1 year. I'm going to offer him a crappy deal. The reason why is because I want to see who else is offering on this guy. And whether or not these teams have a quarterback or not. Like, they have their own Patrick Mahomes. I should have did this in a better way. Hang on. Okay, you know what? No, that's not going to work. Okay, how am I going to do this? I also don't even have the money to do this right now. I just realized that. At some point, I believe it resets. At some point, this definitely resets, right? You can't just give a player $600 million, right? Okay, there we go. So it's $60 million is the most you can get bonus-wise. All right, I'm going to give him a 1 year. And I'm just going to go all the way down here. And I want to see who actually offers on him. Because if my theory is correct, I think they're going to start doubling up. Teams are going to start doubling up trying to collect Patrick Mahomes like a Pokemon. Alright, so the Titans are offering on this one. And let me withdraw my offer. I did not withdraw my offer. Let me withdraw my offer. And then the other one, believe it was this one, I want to say. Okay, I'm not going to keep doing this. I'll be honest with you. Let's see where he goes. And he didn't sign. None of them signed with anybody. Oh no, one signed. Wait, no. Signed. Yeah, the Titans signed Patrick Mahomes. Did the other two? The other two are still free agents. They did not choose a team to go to. Okay, so Patrick Mahomes strike now. Patrick Mahomes is about to be in free agency. Does the Titans already have Patrick Mahomes? No, they didn't have a Patrick. So they got back a Patrick. Who doesn't have a Patrick now? Who's the team? All right. The Buccaneers don't have Patrick Mahomes. Okay. The Commanders don't have a Patrick Mahomes. They just lost the Super Bowl. So those are the two teams. The Commanders and the Bucs. Yeah, those are the two teams right now who don't have a Patrick Mahomes. Well, they're going to either have to figure it out in free agency or they're going to have to try to bring Patrick Mahomes back because there's really no other option at this point. All right, so year 2, and the OG Patrick Mahomes still apparently sucks. I don't know how. He's 8-9 both years. So apparently when he has to play himself over and over again, he's not able to be that successful. And also, there's no Patrick Mahomes on free agency, so that, I guess, means that we are good and that he signed with some team. Let's see. Did the Buccaneers actually end up getting a Patrick Mahomes? They have 2. Okay, so they're collecting them like Pokemon. They're collecting him like Pokemon because now they have 2. The Commanders doesn't have any. So every team now has a Patrick Mahomes except the Bucs, who have 2, and the Commanders, they don't have a Patrick Mahomes. This is getting more interesting every single week we go through in this franchise. I don't... Why would you have 2 of him? What does that help you, other than, again, like I said, collecting him to avoid him from going somewhere else? But, yeah, and you still have teams that... What? 3-14 Commanders. That's just because you didn't want to sign him in the offseason. Or you didn't give him enough money. Alright, so... I'm amazed right now how this franchise is going. But let's go ahead and look at the league MVP. And also how good of a season Patrick Mahomes had. Okay. So, for the Broncos-wise, not bad. Decent, overall-wise. 11 sacks. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's go to stats for the whole league. And let's see how good the quarterbacks did. All right, so the most passing touchdowns was Mahomes with the Packers. The most interceptions was actually Mahomes with the Jets. Most yards was Mahomes with the Bengals. Okay. And who won MVP? Huh. The Ravens Mahomes. Interesting. See, that's very logical. Expected that. Alright. I don't know why the OG Patrick Mahomes sucks so bad, but I guess he can't beat himself. There's only so much you can do against yourself here. And the Broncos, Patrick Mahomes, is he going to go win the Super Bowl? Nope, he lost in the championship to the Bengals. And now it's the Bengals versus the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. Let's see how this ends up going. And final verdict. The Cowboys are going to win. Okay, Cowboys won. Kind of sucks because I was kind of hoping the Bengals won. Being a Bengals fan and seeing your team lose in Madden all the time sucks. Because Madden hates the Bengals. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get into free agency again. And let's see how this ends up going. So, survey says sign free agents. Who's available? Patrick Mahomes. 1, 2, 3, 4 Patrick Mahomes are available. 2 teams are going after 1 Patrick Mahomes here. The other ones are just available and nobody assigned them. Okay, so after week 1 of free agency, 0 Patrick Mahomes have signed. After the second week, no Patrick Mahomes has signed. After the third one, again, none. And now we have to advance the week to see if any of these Patrick Mahomes actually signs with anybody. This is crazy, man. This is crazy how they keep letting Patrick Mahomes hit free agency. I don't get it. Like, you would think that every team, if you have a 99 overall franchise quarterback, you're going to keep him. You're going to say, hey, listen, I need to keep this guy on my roster because he is my team. Like, this is my whole entire, everything is having this guy, even if everyone has him. And some teams have multiple. Oh, man. Even if some teams have multiple Patrick Mahomes, you still got to make sure he's on your roster. All right. Still nobody signed him. Now no teams are interested in $4.99 overall Patrick Mahomes. How is no team interested in him? When, if you look at the league, there are 4 teams now who literally don't even have a good quarterback. Who can't even compete with other teams. So who's the teams that need a quarterback right now? Okay. It's actually very promising here. The Commanders are 1. For some reason, the Commanders do not want Patrick Mahomes back. I don't know what Patrick did to the Commanders, but there's some bad blood there. The Dolphins have 0 quarterback, period. They don't. I mean, the Bucs lost one of their Patrick Mahomes. All right. Who else we got here? The Lions have Zach Wilson, and they're not interested in Patrick Mahomes. Okay, and the Vikings. The Vikings have Trey Lance. The Vikings have now officially just said, you know what, we're going Trey Lance, and that's it. I will say, though, everyone who does sign Patrick, he probably wants a lot of money. And if he wants way too much money, I do understand the concept of saying, like, it's just not worth it. Kinda, a little bit. I don't know. Depends on your other money, other stuff you have around your team. The Commanders suck every year anyway, so I guess that kind of is how that goes. All right, so 1 Patrick, 2, 3, all 4 Patrick Mahomes did not get signed and will be in free agency now. Here's to the fact that the OG Patrick Mahomes is back. I did not mean for that to rhyme, but it actually did. All right, so let's start off with which team doesn't have Patrick Mahomes now. Which team has multiple? Okay, nobody so far. Commanders still don't have Patrick Mahomes, which means they most likely have a team with 2 now. And the Dolphins, who did not have a Patrick Mahomes this offseason, now have 2 Patrick Mahomes. Okay. The Giants have 2 Patrick Mahomes, which means that there's another team without him. The Jags have 2, which means there's another team without him. Lions do not have Patrick Mahomes. The Rams have 1. All these guys have 1. Okay, so who doesn't? The Vikings do not have 1. Okay, so how many teams is that then? I'm going to count this. The Commanders, I know, are 1, right? That's 1. The second team that doesn't have a Patrick Mahomes is the Lions, okay? The third team, there's only 3 teams that don't have Patrick Mahomes. Am I not doing the math right? There's 4 extra. Okay, yeah, never mind. There's 4 extra because there's 1. Yeah. That team should have 1. So 3 teams do not have a Patrick Mahomes now. And 3 teams have a doubled Patrick Mahomes. It's getting kind of crazy, man. This is getting kind of crazy here. And the Bears are 4-13. Even with the Patrick Mahomes GOAT, I guess. All right, let's go to stats. Interesting. You know what's funny is, like, even though... Okay, so the OG Patrick Mahomes is back. 5,200 yards. The Panthers Patrick Mahomes, 5,200 yards as well. But, yeah, the OG Patrick Mahomes now is back and ready to brawl out. But what I was going to say is funny is, even with the fact that they're all cloned, there really isn't any, like, crazy stat lines they're putting up. Like, they're just putting up normal quarterback stats, which I find so interestingly weird. Because you would think they would put up, like, crazy great stats, insane stats, because they're supposed to be that good. But they really don't. All right, so the OG Patrick Mahomes is back. He goes against the Rams in the Super Bowl. And what happens? Watch him lose. He loses. Ain't no way. Ain't no way my man lost in the Super Bowl. Hold up. I'm going to go to team schedule. So Patrick Mahomes finally in his franchise doesn't go 8-9 and loses in the Super Bowl. That's only poetic. He does win MVP though. So he is back in that category, but outside of that category, man can't do anything correct. He can't do anything correct here. Alright, let's see how this ends up going free agency. Who's going to be available is the question. Will it be more Patrick Mahomes? I think eventually one of these free agencies, there's going to be nothing but Patrick Mahomes. 1, 2, 3. Another 4 Patrick Mahomes are available in free agency. Alright, and 3 teams are interested in this one. This is the Tua Patrick Mahomes. You look at the numbers, you can tell which Patrick Mahomes that is. So that's the OG Tua one. That's what another thing. I wanted to keep all the players' numbers correct, like to whatever team they are, so we know in the end, like, who is that guy originally, right? Who is that Patrick Mahomes from? Obviously, the OG Patrick Mahomes, we know, number 15. But everyone else, I kind of want to see where they end up going and, you know, what teams they end up on. So let me just double check this. So this is the OG Patrick Mahomes from the Bears. He never left. This is the OG Patrick Mahomes. So is any of these different? Like any team, how many teams lost their Patrick Mahomes and picked up another Patrick Mahomes? Is Baker Mayfield number 7? He might be. That's the same. That's the same. That's obviously the OG. That's Anthony Richardson. That's Dak Prescott. Dolphins do not have a Patrick Mahomes. Eagles are the same. Okay, so it looks like everyone's the same except for the ones we talked about before. And right now, no one's doubled up on Patrick Mahomes. So we're good there. Teams are not doubling up on Patrick Mahomes yet. Could do it myself, but I'm not going to do that. I could just sign every Patrick Mahomes every free agency. I will say, though, again, like, it is expensive, though. To double up on a Patrick Mahomes with how much he costs, you're losing another position completely. Because that contract's not small. I think that's why they're letting him go to free agency and then picking up after that. Because all 4 Patrick Mahomes goes through free agency and nobody signs them. A little bit also is the fact that Patrick isn't signing these contracts because our team's interested. They're just probably lowballing him. All right, let's get into next season, guys. All right, so now we got another season done. And still, somehow, some way, there are teams with a 3-14, 4-4. How are teams so bad? All right, who's doubling up on Mahomes? There got to be some teams here doubling up on Mahomes. Let's start off with the Chicago Bears. They got 1 Mahomes. Okay. At least there are some teams that only have 1 Mahomes. It's like always a couple of teams though, every year so far. Okay, well, the Commanders don't have a Mahomes. So somebody's doubling up on a Mahomes. And the Dolphins. So there's 2 Mahomes that are being doubled up on. The 49ers have 3 Mahomes. This is literally has now become Mahomes is a Pokemon. And you got to catch them all. This is what this is right now at this point. How do you have 3 Patrick Mahomes? Wait, what's his contract? Hold up. Go back up to the 49ers. Hang on. Okay, so they have him on 1 year, pretty much nothing burger contracts. Why is Patrick Mahomes accepting a 1 year nothing burger contract? That's another question I have. The Ravens have 2 Patrick Mahomes. Why would you... and then the Titans have 2. All right, so you have 1 team with 3, and you have 2 teams that have double Patrick Mahomes. This is something else, man. I kind of figured this might happen because this is the move. Like, let's be honest. The best move to do is just to have, like, just to kind of take all the Patrick Mahomes for your own team. That's the best move to do here. Just because it helps you out the most, right? Benefits you the most. Also, I didn't look at this. 1,600 yards. The reason why I didn't show this or look at this in the video. Okay, well, John Taylor just going freaking off. But is that none of the receivers have had crazy, insane stats. Which, again, like I said, is so weird. Because you would think all these great receivers with 99 overall Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, they'd be going out there and putting up the best stats in the world. But surprisingly enough, they're not. All right, so let's see who wins the Super Bowl this year. Who is it gonna be, Bo? Who is it? Ravens, Eagles. Okay, that's an interesting Super Bowl. Haven't seen that one yet. Super Bowl 61, and it's gonna be the Eagles win. Okay. Who won MVP? DeAndre Swift, not Patrick Mahomes. You know, with how many Patrick Mahomes is available, that's actually heavily surprising. All right, how many Patrick Mahomes going to hit free agency here, guys? My count is 4. So far, every single year now, it's been 4 Patrick Mahomes to hit free agency. And those 4 are usually just recycled from other teams that, again, keeps hitting free agency. So, seem like these 4... Yep, these 4 again. Because all these 4 do is they hit free agency, and then they go ahead and get signed to a 1-year contract and then get cut. So this is Lamar Jackson. This was originally Lamar Jackson. So this was the Ravens. This was the Ravens Patrick Mahomes. 19. Who's number 19? Is that Jordan Love? Not sure who number 19 is. 19 NFL quarterback. Who is number 19? That is... Not gonna lie to you, there is no number 19 at starting quarterback in the NFL. I'm not even sure who this is. Okay, so maybe they changed his number, or he changed his number. Or maybe I changed it by accident. Yeah, I'm not sure what number 19 is. Number 7, that's going to be... Just realized, that's Geno Smith. I just realized I really suck at, like, remembering quarterbacks' names. And then number 3 is Russell Wilson. I love how each quarterback has, like, a different, like, oh, yeah, you know, he would love to sign with your team. This guy. Like, bro, why? Well, we already know none of those guys are going to actually sign. You're just going to literally get put into free agency and then sign a 1-year contract. So I'll see you guys next season. Hang on. All right, another year, another 12-5. OG Mahomes is the best quarterback. And you would not be surprised. The 2-15 Lions. I think that's because the Lions do not have Mahomes. Does the 49ers still have 3 Patrick Mahomes, or is this like a not collect them all type of aspect here? All right, so who's the first team who has 2 Patrick Mahomes? Is the question. The Colts have 2 Patrick Mahomes. Okay. Dolphins have 0. Gotcha. The Falcons have 2 now. Okay. The Jets have 2. The Lions do not have 1. That's why they're 2-15. Because they can't really compete in the NFL because they don't have Patrick Mahomes. And that's actually surprising. Okay, the Texans and the Titans have 2 as well. And the Vikings. Okay, so, hold up. Where's number 17? Is this Josh Allen? That was Josh Allen, right? Who's the Bills quarterback? No, okay, no. He's been there since the beginning. My question is, alright, where's number 8? Because the number 8 Patrick Mahomes has been around the NFL. He's seen a thing or two. So the Jets starting quarterback now is Mahomes. I want to see this real fast. No, this is Jordan Love. Number 8 is Jordan Love? No, that's Aaron Rodgers. I'm an idiot. That's Aaron Rodgers. Okay, I'm stupid. It's Aaron Rodgers. He's missed a year. So he wasn't on a team. No, he was on a team, but I guess he was a backup. This is so weird. It's like some players, the stats don't even count because they were backups or not start. All right, so let's go to stats. Let's just see this. How good this idea for this video is getting weirder and weirder as the moments go on. Wait, hold up. That last guy wasn't Mahomes, was it? No, that was Mahomes. That was 49ers Mahomes. That wasn't 3 times Mahomes. Who's winning the Super Bowl? Ironically enough, the OG Mahomes has not won the Super Bowl yet in this franchise. He's gotten there and he lost. So, I guess to stop Mahomes from three-peating, you just need to have 31 other Mahomes. Mahomes can't win the Super Bowl when there's 31 versions of himself. It makes it very difficult to win the Super Bowl when there's 31 versions of yourself. That's the only thing that could stop Mahomes is Mahomes. Is what I'm learning here. That's the only thing that could stop Mahomes is actually Patrick Mahomes. 31 times. My guess is the same 4 guys are going to hit free agency like always. That would be my guess here. Those 4 guys are going to randomly sign with random teams on 1-year contracts. Oh, only 3. So, one team signed Patrick Mahomes to an extension. So, hold up. One of these teams is keeping 2 Patrick Mahomes. Because they could have let all 4 go like normal, but instead, they're keeping him. Who is the team? Because now they can't hide. Because now it literally is whoever has 2 Patrick Mahomes is the team. Okay. Haven't seen it yet. It's the Ravens. No, it's not the Ravens. The Titans. The Titans have 2 Patrick Mahomes, and they signed into a contract extension. Wait, so they just signed this Patrick Mahomes to over $219 million contract extension, and they signed this Patrick Mahomes already to a huge contract. What, Madden? What is going on with your game at this point? All right, so the old OG Patrick Mahomes sucks again. Who's doubling up? That's now become this video. Who doubled up on Mahomes? We already know that the Titans signed a second Patrick Mahomes to a big contract. So, the Cowboys now have 2 Patrick Mahomes. I just feel like, the 49ers did have 3 Patrick Mahomes at one point. I just feel like there's going to be a team eventually that have more than 3 Patrick Mahomes. I just had this weird feeling. Wow, only one team has... Okay, 2 teams have 2 Patrick Mahomes. I think we're... never mind. 3 and then 4. Never mind. 4 teams have 2 Patrick Mahomes. I thought we were evolving as an NFL, but no, we're not. We're back in the Stone Age of this league of just hoarding Patrick Mahomes away from other teams. This is such a weird concept, man. Just like, nope. You know what? We're not going to use the guy, but we don't want him to be on anyone else's team. So we're going to make sure that, it's not possible. Who won MVP? You probably already guessed who won MVP. It's Patrick Mahomes. Nobody else even comes on the race at all. Like, there's no other teams that even have a chance at going for MVP other than Patrick Mahomes. He is the only guy who can run, win, and be happy with the MVP award. Alright. OG Patrick Mahomes versus the Giants. This might be the first time. And the OG Patrick Mahomes has lost 2 Super Bowls now to his clones. 2. 2 Super Bowls to his clones, guys. He can't beat his clone. This is the only way you stop Patrick Mahomes, is by putting Patrick Mahomes in front of Patrick Mahomes. The OG is just not good enough, man. He's a clone. He's not good enough to beat himself. There's, again, there's 4 Patrick Mahomes on free agency. We already know the Titans signed Patrick Mahomes to a multi-year contract. So, somehow, some way, these other guys... Yeah, no one's going to sign them. Because they get signed to 1-year contracts. Guys, I think I'm going to end the video there. Because I don't see anything else changing here. And all this is going to do is have the same exact guys just constantly recycle. So let's start off. Patrick Mahomes, and this is 6 years in the future. The last 6 years, the Bears have kept their Justin Fields, Patrick Mahomes. Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, has stayed with the Bengals. The Bills got rid of their Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. And now they're on to a 66 overall quarterback. Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, somehow ended up back with the Mahomes. Russell Wilson version. Deshaun Watson stayed with the Browns. Thank you. Kyler stayed. Herbo stayed. OG stayed. The Colts Anthony Richardson version stayed. The Commanders lost their guy. Dak Prescott stayed. Dolphins lost their Patrick Mahomes. Jalen Hurts stayed. Not Anthony Richardson, what's his name? Desmond Ridder stayed. Brock Purdy stayed. Daniel Jones stayed. Okay, so most of these guys actually did stay. There's only a couple that left and went to a new team. Yeah, so only a few, like 3 or 4 actually left and went to a new team. He stayed, and then for some reason they doubled up. So, guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one.